Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 281. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my returning co-host, Mike.
I'm here. I'm back. Got some stuff to talk about. We do have an interview today, so we get to talk with Jeff Zenolati about his book, Accidental Renegades. It's on Kickstarter right now, so go check it out. I just wanted to, show this off for a second, man.
Okay.
I know you got one too because you posted on Twitter. I'm holding up the cover for Fantastic Four Full Circle. Still don't understand why it wasn't published by Marvel, but I'm sure they're kicking themselves in the foot or whatever for not publishing this. I went into a comic shop near where I grew up because I had to go home for other reasons, but I grabbed this off the shelf, and the dude is like, "This. I just put 2 of these up, and they're already gone this morning." And I was like, "And it's gonna keep happening when Alex Ross is on a book." And then I opened the pages. My God, this art is it's Alex Ross's love letter to Jack Kirby, and that makes for the most fantastic art. I was just reading this every page. I was like, "This is probably one of the best pages I've seen in comics." And then I flip a page, and I'm like, "My God, this is." The next page, dude, I was getting if you would have asked me have you ever seen Alex Ross draw Liam Sharp or something like that, I'd been like, no. And then you pull up that page in the Negative Zone, and I'm like, what the hell? It has to be one of his best art styles of all time. Sorry, I just had to talk about that, but
We'll talk about it more later. But it's weird because he doesn't paint this one.
Yeah, he draws
it. I've seen his drawings before he paints, and it's very similar, but the coloring in this is just phenomenal.
Yeah, and that goes without saying. It was not Alex Ross who colored it. The colors were by Josh Johnson as well. So shout out to him because, god damn, it is a beautiful book. And just a little fun fact: it ties into my favorite Fantastic Four issue, number 51. This Man, This Monster. So
I was thinking of you the whole time I was reading it.
And I knew I was loving it and getting all giddy, and then I'm like, I wonder if Chris is reading this oh shit, Mike's gonna be really happy. So for those of you who don't know, Fantastic Four 51 is the first appearance of the Negative Zone, but it's also a really well written issue about the Thing wondering, what life is because he's the Thing now. And this is a direct. This is that's issue 1, and this is issue 2. It was absolutely fantastic. I just had to talk. I had to get that off my chest.
I have to get something off my chest.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going to bring the show down for a minute, but we got to shout it out.
Okay.
Former guest of the show and creator of the greatest supervillain of all time codpiece, Rachel Pollack. I don't know if people have followed this. If you're following us on social media, we've talked about it, but was just hospitalized and is in the ICU. And I forget exactly, but it was for a type of cancer. And they're trying to raise money through GoFundMe. So I just want to say, because Rachel's just an amazing lady, she's part of the DNA of the show from the moment we discovered Codpiece, and is also an amazing writer on top of all that. I'm going to put the link to that GoFundMe in the show notes, so if anybody wants to go contribute and help out an amazing person and someone in the comic community, go check that out.
Yeah, and I want to say they needed 15,000. They're up to over 34,000, 627 donations. So thanks for everybody for donating. We've been shooting it out on Twitter. Can I just say how thankful and fortunate we were to talk to Rachel this year, because it was something we had put off for a while, and then finally got the chance to speak with her, and what an amazing person she was, and such a great sense of humor and approach to the whole writing comics thing, and wishing her a speedy, healthy recovery. I'm glad we've doubled the donation goal here. So,
And we don't talk about it on the show, but if you want to support her work, she has a new book on Comixology, actually, through the Comixology Originals called Neverending Party. I'll just say, like, I read the first issue. It's not my thing, but it's well written. The art's really fantastic. So that might be a way to go support her too. Just be like, go, buy a comic and enjoy it.
Yep. So with that, we might as well just jump into everything because we got a lot to talk about. It's been a while since we've seen each other.
It's been a while.
I was in Savannah, Georgia, just really quick. Just a quick flex. No, this is a vacation. I haven't taken a vacation in a long time. I will say this about Savannah, Georgia's comic shops. Are they really cool? I visited a couple. I'm not going to name any names, but these ones are like in the touristy area. And like the day before, I can't think of his name now, but there was an
Patton
actor
Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt was at a Georgia comic shop. It wasn't walking distance to my hotel, so I didn't end up going to that one. I went to a couple which were really cool. The one is like half games, half comics, like a game, like a tabletop shop. Awesome, really awesome. And the other one is like a lot of old school video games, like arcade machines, old school games. Had a little Pokemon center with some Pokemon stuff and comics. But like, I think the main comics weren't the main focus of both shops. And I was kind of disappointed when I reached out to both of them. I was like, hey, do you have any local like writers and artists, that I can buy their books? And they really didn't have any like indie books, which is a little disappointing because like Savannah has a art and like design school right in the city. So you figured like there's got to be some artists out there from Savannah.
There's a pretty decent Comic-Con that goes on in that area.
Yeah,
as well.
So I was a little disappointed about that, but great shops. I mean, you'll have a lot of fun there if you check them out. I think one was called Planet Fun, and the other one is called like Odin and Sons. Awesome names. But I found this bookstore that had cats, and that's pretty much the reason we went in. Because these cats just live there. They're big fat cats, and they're adorable, and they're just like laying on the books, and it's like this old renovated house. And I can't think of the name right now, but they did have local artists and writers like self-published comics in there, so they get a win in my book. In my book, but Savannah was great. There's a lot of cool, spooky stuff to do there, but E Shaver Booksellers was the name of it. If you want to pet some cute cats and see some awesome books, go there. Also, I mean, check out the comic shops too, but I was like more surprised to find a local comic book in a bookstore than the comic shops. And I walked up to one of the people working at the shop and I said, do you have any local writers and artists in the shop anywhere? Because it's a big shop. And they said, no, but that's a good idea. And I was like, yeah, not a bad one.
Duh.
And one of the shops, I walked in and I'm walking around the books, looking at all the books for like 10 minutes. And the shop owner or person working there is like talking to some people at the counter about like Marvel movies for like 10 minutes and didn't acknowledge me that I was in there. I mean, I don't like that with any shop I go into. So like to be ignored when you walk in a shop, but I'm obviously like looking for something doesn't help either. But overall, I think E Shaver Books is the winner. So check them out.
Nice.
TV shows, Chris. She-Hulk episode 2 and 3. Oh boy, the edgelords are coming out in their masses for the twerking She-Hulk.
I mean, it was
gifts.
Stupid, but
yeah. But I don't think what people realize is it was put in there to trigger people. I think mostly.
Yeah. So first, whoever that rapper was, I had no clue this person existed until that episode.
Yeah.
But I'm also in my early 30s, so I'll say episode 2 was okay. Once again, I think the show has been okay throughout it. Episode 3 had like a few moments. Like I really liked the actual court scene with Abomination. I thought that was the strong point of the show, and that's kind of the problem with the show, is that I don't think it's doing a good job of presenting me with characters that I enjoy. And the fact that like the least interesting thing about a court show is the most interesting thing about this show.
Yeah.
Is what's bugging me. But I'm going to keep watching it because I'm a sucker. And but yeah, like the post credits in episode 2 was really funny because like they had this moment with She-Hulk's family, and then her dad like needed a bunch of stuff moved around the house, so he had her like Hulk out and like move the stuff for him.
That's funny.
But all in all, like this show is 100% at the bottom of my Marvel TV list so far.
Mhm.
And yeah, like the twerking thing, I'm not like, oh my god, I can't believe She-Hulk twerked, but it was just stupid.
Yeah, I will say, yeah, like I mean, there's a huge number of fans that listen to Meg the Stallion. I don't even know how to say the name. But yeah, I don't think this show was created for me. I have heard some good things, like check it out because some of it's enjoyable. So maybe I will. But
there's moments throughout it where it shines, but then everything in between, and then just some of the characters, like this dude that works for the DA office. Like I want him gone. He's not. He's literally there as a punchline.
Mm-hmm.
He's not interesting. I don't like him, and that you're not supposed to like him, but
right.
And he's worn on me over time of the show, where I'm just like, can you just not show up in the next episode, please?
That'd be great.
But yeah.
All right. I have watched some Hot D over the last few weeks. Yeah.
Whoa!
Watch out, everybody! Getting a little R-rated over here.
Getting that D.
Yeah. House of the Dragon, the prequel to Game of Thrones. I, in no sense, should be talking about this. My significant other should be, because she is every time we bring it up, we talk lore about Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, that she knows lengths and bounds more than I do. While I do find it interesting, I haven't done all the research that she has, but I will say, as a plebe, an uninitiated, I'm one of the fans of Game of Thrones that, the last couple seasons I was like, but to me that doesn't ruin a show for me, because I've seen that so many times with shows that I still love, like Lost is one of my favorite shows, but we won't talk about that last season. You can name a list of shows that didn't finish strong. Like I said, first couple seasons of Flash are probably the best CW show seasons I've ever watched. But yeah, it's 3 episodes are out. This is like 200 years before Daenerys. So just give you a quick overview. Khaleesi, the mother of dragons, her family used to have 10, 20 dragons. They used to be the strongest family in all of the world, the realm. And over time, there's a reason, like some people in the family get jealous or get like kicked out of their rightful heir to the throne, and they have dragons. So what they start doing over time is fighting each other with the dragons. They kill each other's dragons, and now you only have like 1 or 2 left. That's what we see in Game of Thrones show. So that's kind of like, it's like the story of her family. And Matt Smith plays a main character. I think he's killing it from Doctor Who. Everybody, he's doing a great job. His character is really cool. We've gotten some other like
it's Matt Smith from Morbius, actually.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I should have opened with that. Yeah, and yeah, more people would know that than Doctor Who. What was I thinking? Sorry.
Yeah, what was this, fucking nerd show or something?
Yeah, I'm an idiot. He kills it. I mean, the characters are great. You could already see the wedges being put in between the families, and there's like some cool characters, and stuff like that. I really recommend it, and I like it. And then I watched Rings of Power. To tell you the truth, I went into both these shows with really low expectations. I just wanted to enjoy them for fantasy shows, and I ended up really liking them more than I thought. Like I really want to continue with these shows. House of the Dragon is really good. Rings of Power, 2 episodes are out. I was so impressed with how they did it. I'm not a huge, like, I don't know, I never read the Silmarillion. I'm not a huge lore person of Lord of the Rings. I do enjoy the movies. And I really like the show. It focuses on Galadriel, who we do see in the Fellowship of the Ring. This is thousands of years before. So this is the Second Age, and I believe Lord of the Rings is the Third Age. I think it's like 2,000 years before Lord of the Rings. When when Sauron creates the rings and gives them to all the different factions of people. That's kind of where we are at. And we're just getting introduced to the characters, so we're starting to see some elves, some dwarves, and things like that. And I really like all the characters. I think it's interesting. I think there's a lot of cool things happening with the lore. There's some fights with monsters, some fight scenes that are really fucking cool. And I'm gonna stick with it. I was pleasantly surprised with it, and I know some people that are really heavy into the lore of Lord of the Rings, and we're like nerding out on like the first age stuff that they show. Yeah. So I think it's good, and I'm hoping Amazon can keep it up. So
I'll say I've talked to some people about Lord Rings of Power, and I've heard really good things about it. So I might check that one out.
Yeah.
I'll check out House of Dragon when we're like 6 seasons in, and people are telling me it's still good.
Yeah.
I'm so burnt by that show and how I felt about it.
Yeah.
But real quick too, because I just finished another series. It's a little bit old, but it's this year. The 3rd season came out, and I just fell in love with it. The Orville. I'm sure
I've heard of that.
You know about this.
Yeah.
Phenomenal show. I think the first season, like, listen, it's Seth MacFarlane. He tries to make too many jokes in on it. Like, he tries to get a little bit funny with it, but it's still like the first season's like a solid sci-fi Star Trek-y show.
Mm-hmm.
By the 2nd season, he abandons a lot of the like in-your-face humor that he tries in the first season. Just tries to do a show, but it actually works in his favor because he built these characters who are more real than most Star Trek stuff, and it's really well done. And then the 3rd season, they got a buttload of money, so it's just like everything from the CG on up is increased.
Yeah,
and it's out of this world. Like, it's so good. I can't recommend it enough.
I'll have to check it out.
I'm at this point like a diehard fan. Like, Mike, I finished season 3, and I went on my Pull Box app to order through my comic shop, and I ordered the library edition of the comics.
Wow.
That day. Like, that's how into it I got.
Damn.
I highly recommend this show. Highly recommend. And
all right, I will. Yeah.
It tackles real issues and does it really well. Seriously, everybody go check this show out. I highly recommend it.
It's on Netflix, right?
It's on Disney Plus right now, actually. It's so the 3rd season is actually a Hulu original.
Oh, okay.
So when it ended, it had a break, and now it's on Disney Plus. Okay,
interesting. Yeah, I'll talk about. I'm really on a sci-fi kick right now too. Fantasy and sci-fi, man. I've been missing out on that for a while. So let's talk about some of the news. And I watched Nope as well. So, Netflix has decided to move forward with the 4th and final season of Umbrella Academy. I'm happy they have a finale, like they're ending it, and I could watch a 4th season. I think we deserve that. So interested in seeing that.
I could watch a 4th season. I was kind of hoping the 3rd season was it.
I don't need a 4th season.
What?
I don't need a 4th season for sure. Like,
yeah, like I like the dire ending of the 3rd season, like how it's just we went through all of this, and it was all because Father was fucking with us the whole time.
Yeah,
like right. I love that, but I'll watch a 4th season because I do love that show.
Yeah. With season 4 of The Boys beginning to film, we're getting some new casting news. It was announced last week that Jeffrey Dean Morgan will be joining the cast. We don't have any idea who he's going to play. I'm wondering if we could just flip through the comics to find out. I should ask. I should really tweet at Derek Robertson tonight and see what he thinks. He probably already knows, honestly.
There's a character in Butcher's Past. I forget what volume it's in, but that was the guy that everybody wanted Jeffrey to play.
I think it's the. I remember the title of the story arc was Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Maker.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, that's because I never forget. I was like, wow, that's a great play on words. Okay, yeah, I do remember that story arc.
Yeah, so I'll put my money on that because everybody wanted him to play it. He's a great fit for it. So
yeah, isn't that great? Like, you're just sitting around as Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and people are like, you should play this thing, and he gets a phone call. They're like, everybody wants you to play this thing. He's like, all right, I'll do it.
It's just
Give me, that's awesome.
I love Jeffrey D. Morgan because like he would have been perfect as Thomas Wayne Batman.
Yeah,
Maybe one day we'll get it. I'm not holding my breath on that one. But like everybody's like he should play Negan, and then one day I wake up and it's like Jeffrey D. Morgan's playing Negan.
Yeah.
And now this, and yeah,
the comedian too. I mean, he killed
the
it in
comedian.
Watchmen.
I always forget he was a comedian.
Yeah, dude, that guy's awesome. Some more news about the turmoil at Warner and Discovery. After a deal was struck with Matt Reeves for a first look deal, it seems the director's Batman sequel and HBO Max spinoffs are safe for now. The Penguin show is still on, while the Arkham Asylum show is still in conversation. Also, the Batman the Animated Series, Batman the Caped Crusader from Bruce Timm and J.J. Abrams is likely not to move forward to HBO Max, but there's talks of other streaming services bidding on the show. And they should, because HBO, you're a dumbass for not picking this show up.
So, yeah, to put the bow on that, I think the funniest possible move is if Disney was like, yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got the money. Holy shit. Could you imagine?
If I was Disney, because, like, whatever, like, they wipe their asses with $1,000 bills.
Yeah.
I would overpay for it just for the troll.
Yeah.
Because then you make Warner look like the biggest pieces of shit in the place, especially if it's good.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be good. Come on. Yeah. It's still in the works.
As far as the Batman movie, like, I'll be interested to see it's the next thing up, but like they might have found their Kevin Feige and everything. It would be interesting if the Batman is their Iron Man 1.
Yeah, it would be. And I also saw some more stuff that like Matt Reeves, they're letting him do whatever he wants because they're like, we understand like his vision and how like talented this dude is. They're like, look at Planet of the Apes. And he's kind of just getting to do whatever he wants. And I think that's a good start. And like you said, yeah, that being the like base one movie, yeah, why not?
Like that's a solid base one movie. And like that Batman could Pattinson's still young, so he could be around for a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
And that Batman could be kind of the birth of us going into this DC universe. Like I could see that.
Although that Ben Affleck is back for some reason, Jason Momoa said in an interview, he's like, yes, Ben's back, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, so what does that mean?
it's a mess right now, don't get me wrong. But
it's a crazy mess. Yeah.
They're still kind of quote unquote finding their guy, so the guy has to come in and then make the 10-year plan. Like it's not like Disney didn't say we have a 10-year plan, Feige do this. Like Feige pitched the 10-year plan.
Right.
So yeah, he's here for now, but
it looks like Warner's found their Kevin Feige, and Dan Lin is supposed to be the person taking over. He's best known for his work with the Lego movie franchise, which is a huge hit, and the newest Godzilla King Kong movie franchise, I would say, is a big hit. Yeah, but that's not to be said without delays coming for to the DC movies. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom now will be hitting theaters December 25th, 2023, and Shazam will be hitting theaters. Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods will be hitting these theaters March 17th, 2023. Interesting.
So I think Dan Lin's a good choice starting there.
Yeah.
He has he's more of a producer, but he has worked in other roles as well. So he's good on all fronts. And once again, Kevin Feige's a producer. Like that's what he does. The delays are weird. Because what I'm hearing is the only reason I think it's Aquaman was the first one that was supposed to come out. Am I right on that?
I think so, yeah.
The only reason I heard it's being delayed is because it doesn't want to go against Avatar.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be way off base here, but I don't feel like anybody gives a fuck about Avatar 2. Like, am I wrong in this? Are you seeing the hype?
I'm not going to see it, but I think the Avatar people are going to realize. Oh, well, that's a question though. Is it WB producing Avatar? Because that would make sense why they want to separate the two.
No, it's Disney. Disney owns
it's
Avatar
Disney?
now. Yeah.
Oh, then I don't know. I mean, maybe it's going to be a hit. Maybe, dude, maybe we'll be wrong. Maybe people are going to come out in droves to see this movie. I just don't see it. Everyone I talk to is not excited.
Maybe the normies, not to be disparaging, but maybe the normies are all about it. But I still feel like that first movie was only a big deal because the technology at the time, like,
yeah,
and nobody cares
right.
about that technology anymore.
Right. It's kind of like, it's almost like Jurassic Park. Hey, the new Jurassic Park movies are making $1 billion still, so who knows, dude? I don't know.
But that's even, I hear people excited about new Jurassic Park movies. Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I hear
don't
people at work
else,
like,
yeah.
"Oh yeah, can't wait to go see Jurassic World, whatever the fuck it's
Yeah.
called." Nobody I know, the people that work under me, the people that work alongside me, my friends, my family, nobody talks about Avatar. So I don't know. I don't see
It's
this
funny
being
because
a
when
big
it
deal.
came out, I know people that had saw it 20 times at the theater.
I saw it in IMAX. It was incredible at the time. It blew me away. Like, well, this is possible. But like, then you buy the DVD at home,
and that's the way I watched it.
Oh, like, okay, it's an okay movie.
Mm-hmm. I guess we'll see. I don't know. But Aquaman's certainly scared of it. I don't know if it's that people won't, like, people are still going to see the movie regardless. Like, there's still people to show up to opening nights of movies. And I think DC just doesn't want to lose that chunk of their possible $1 billion. Because I think the last Aquaman made $1 billion. You know, they want that headline.
I think Aquaman 2 would wipe the floor with it. But
yeah,
I understand being risk averse in how they are right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think the Avatar, I mean, it might benefit from being a Christmas movie now because it's the only thing.
Right.
But I could see Avatar being just like Buzz Lightyear where nobody cares and then they all wait for the Disney Plus version.
Yeah. Although I do think they'll make more money on Christmas with this movie.
Yeah. It'll do better just for that reason because it's Christmas. Home. People want to come home or go watch a movie.
I'm probably going to go with my family. And before we get to the interview, I did watch Nope last night because it's out for rent. I think out of the three horror movies that Jordan Peele has done, this might be my favorite. And it's not really a horror movie; it's more suspense. I don't want to reveal too much because a lot that gets revealed. If I had to say, like, this movie, I mean, it reminds me of a lot of awesome movies in like suspense and horror. And there's like things that relate it to like Jaws, where like, you know, the monster's not revealed for a while, and then like it gets revealed, and it's like, oh shit, you know, now we got to take it down. I think all the actors performed exceptionally. I forgot Steven Yeun was in it from Walking Dead. He plays a crazy character. Yeah, and his character arc is so strange and interesting. And there's a scene that is like horror, like that's shot completely horror, like you don't know what you're seeing, and it ends up not being what it is. But Jordan Peele definitely understands it, and his best thing in his movies is making you uncomfortable. So there's things like you'll be in a scene and he'll focus on a scene, and it's either like a conversation or like something that just seems off about like how the scene is set up, and it just makes you squeamish or uncomfortable. He's really good at doing that. And I greatly enjoyed it. And also, there's a just a quick clip or like a scene that is a reference or a tribute to Akira, the anime, the movie, which is a pretty awesome sci-fi anime movie. If people have never watched it, it's a classic. But there's a tribute to that in like one of the scenes, and I was like, I would have thought I would have saw that in this movie. So it's pretty sick. I recommend it. I didn't care for Us. I really liked Get Out, but I think I like Nope the best, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, and with that, let's jump over to our interview with Jeff and talk about Accidental Renegades, and we'll see everybody on the other side.
And we are back
to the other side. So go over to Kickstarter, give Jeff your money for Accidental Renegades. It's got a few days left there. Support him; he's a good dude.
The book looks great.
Yeah, looks great. I know I backed it, so sounds like Chris has too, so follow our lead. Okay, comic news. Marvel has announced a new series alongside another anniversary. Oh my god. This time it's the Wasp. What? This time, wow, we're really going to the bottom of the toy chest. In 2023, we'll be celebrating 60 years in comics. We get a 5-issue series titled Wasp. My god. The series will follow a similar path as the recent Ant-Man series and will form from creative team writer Al Ewing and Cassia Nye. Al Ewing, great writer. Cassia's great on the art. I'm not a Wasp fan. I mean, I'm not much of a Marvel fan. You can tell me if you're a Wasp fan. It's okay.
Wasp was okay, but we'll talk about issue 2 of Ant-Man later. But like, I like the first 2 issues of the Ant-Man series. If it ends up being something I really enjoy, I could see jumping over to this because the creative team is similar and it's trying to do something similar and see if he can stick it with Wasp too. But it's not like I'm sitting here super excited about a Wasp book. Right. I think I'll wait till issue 5 of Ant-Man to decide whether I'm excited about the Wasp book.
Yeah, but it's the anniversary, man.
Yeah. Listen, I am the Marvel fan. Even I'm just like, we get it. And everybody started the same year.
Yeah, we understand.
Just say 60 years of Marvel and get it done with.
Yep, and release a bunch of series under that. Comixology announced a new series coming soon to its unlimited service titled Blood Oath. Series written by Alex Segura and Rob Hart with art by Joe Eisma. Series is said to be a horror twist on Prohibition-era New York. Sounds sick. I have Amazon Prime, so I get this book for free. Although, don't subscribe to it because they'll charge you for the book, even though you have Amazon Prime. I found that out. So thanks Amazon Comixology for screwing me once again.
I also have Comixology Unlimited, and I'll be reading this because I'm reading a bunch of the stuff on there. But there's always something about Prohibition era New York that it's like World War II. Like, it's just that scene, that time period that's just interesting. It could be anything, and if you put Prohibition New York, it's like aliens attack in Prohibition New York, and they're like, okay, cool, let's do it. Like, of course I'm gonna try it. I'll definitely be reading it.
It's funny because I did go to the Prohibition Museum, which is in Savannah, Georgia, and pretty crazy stuff learning about all that. But I think that's going to be interesting, like a horror aspect to it.
Yeah, it's just, dude, the way people dressed, the Tommy guns, the cars are cool. Like, everything about that era is just so awesome. So I'm down for this.
Rob Liefeld, wow, this is strange, and Image Comics are going to be releasing Brigade, and it seems that he'll also be introducing his new superhero universe in this title. The series is said to be a version of Superman that chooses to rule the world instead of protect it. Nice, Rob.
We've done this before.
Yeah, this is very innovative stuff, Rob. I wonder how big the check is he got for doing this.
Well, he lost all of his characters because, the man going on Twitter all the time telling everybody else how to run businesses can't run his own shit. If you listen to the show a long time, I don't like Rob Liefeld the person. I think his art is vastly overrated.
Yeah.
And when you just go around like copying everybody else's stuff, it's not interesting to me anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, when Millar does it, and it's like, but he's got a story to tell.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting. Like, there's stuff about it I can enjoy, but some of that early Image stuff where it's just like, Jim Lee's no longer doing X-Men, so he's going to go to Image and do X-Men.
Yeah,
like, that's what Rob Liefeld's done his whole career, and I just don't care anymore. I'm
not a huge Rob Liefeld fan either, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I don't think he's a good person either. So
I'd rather give my money to an indie creator.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah. So this has been huge news across the internet, but I am
surprised. I think the biggest news to me is Image is doing something with him.
Oh, I mean, he's one of the co-creators of Image, so
yeah.
I think no matter what, unless he comes down and just like, Image is the worst and fuck them, like, they're gonna work with him because they kind of have to.
Yeah,
but Yeah. I'll move on.
Yep. During last week's interview with Jim Mafood, we had a conversation about Zestworld Comics, and they announced that this week they're moving into an open beta phase for the platform. Its open beta phase comes new features like free comics, early access to those comics for subscribers, virtual drawing sessions, invite-only events, a crop of new creators joining into the fun. Some of those people joining Zestworld include Marquez, Leanna Kangas, Alejandro Murillo, and Keith Champagne. So, I'm a huge Leanna Kangas fan, so that's pretty sick.
Yeah. And talking with Jim on and off air, I love the idea of what Zestworld's doing. It's Substack, but more geared towards comic artists and them being able to do stuff. And there's features in there that some people find controversial, but I think what they're doing is cool, and they're really supporting artists across the board. And yeah, that's a good list of new creators to bring on board. I mean, the list that's there already was already impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And then adding this is even better. So hopefully the open beta phase goes good and they can go full blown so anybody can sign up, because I like what they're doing over there.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like a cool thing for artists to take advantage of. And yeah, I'll be checking it out. All right, so what did we read what have I read the past few weeks? There's a lot of comics like DC and stuff. A lot of the like stuff I'm subscribed to, I'm a little behind on because I've gotten an abundance of Kickstarters in, which is great. But I did read Full Circle by Alex Ross. I can't gush enough about this amazing book. Just like even having it as like a coffee table book, just for the art alone, like some of these.
Did you take the sleeve off too and see like just the four?
Oh yeah,
like the hardcover. It's so nice.
Yeah, just the four. There's just a four, like shiny four when you take the sleeve off, but everything about this book was awesome. All my favorite things about the Fantastic Four in one book. If you're a fan of classic Fantastic Four, even new Fantastic Four, because this isn't too wordy like an old school comic, because Alex Ross just does an amazing job. It's not painted like his stuff, but man, the pencils are absolutely astonishing. The colors are very retro wave, which I think is sick. Retro wave with like green added, so it has like almost like a '90s feel to it. But just an amazing. And I know Alex Ross released a video too, like almost like a little documentary about like the creating of it and talking about Jack Kirby and stuff like that. So this is awesome.
I'm not a big Fantastic Four fan. No, Mike's much bigger than I am. But I love the design of the suits in this. I think it's my favorite Fantastic Four suit design.
Yeah, very cool.
It's one of those suits that like it's so simple, but like when someone along the lines of Alex Ross comes about, who's a master designer as well as artist, and just adds those little touches, it's so great. And then my favorite part of the whole book was when they got the new suits and they're like comic sciencing the hell out of it with the negative energy and everything.
Yeah.
And Grimm's just like, so like I still just get underpants.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, that was awesome.
This is going to do it for you. And then like later on, Reed has a little like thing on his arm. He's like, do my underpants do that?
Yeah, right. It's so funny.
I love it. It was a great. Yeah. Everybody should pick it up. It's really good.
For those of you who know, I'm a Dark Souls fan, Soulsborne fan. Zach Sharp on Kickstarter did a second printing of Lodran and Beyond. It is 6 stories related to Dark Souls characters and Bloodborne characters. Really cool, and it came with like this awesome sticker pack. If you're a fan of these characters or these video games, by all means, check this out. You should definitely be reading this. It's a lot of cool stories, and each story has like a description of who those characters are in the universe, which is really good because the lore isn't really explained in the comic and the video games. You kind of have to figure it out for yourself. I got a nice Kickstarter from Jordan Thomas. I have a anthology sci-fi book that he wrote But I also, with that, I got my Weird Work issues 1 through 2 in the mail. Issue 3 is on Kickstarter right now. The art by Shaky Kane, really amazing stuff. You would love the art. I don't know if you're reading this, Chris.
I never heard of it.
It's wild. It's like a sci-fi book. I know the 3rd issue has a variant cover by Mr. Jeff Darrows that does Shaolin Cowboys, so it's amazing. The characters that you meet in this city, in this like futuristic dystopian era, it's a really cool story, and it's finishing with issue 3. You're gonna love the art. I think you should really check it out. Just like that's some of it right there. It's pretty cool stuff. Yeah, Weird Work it's called. And then I got my other issue of The Masters in the mail, which is like a 90s book. And I've talked about it before because I think I had the other issue, but this is the extra book they had. It's like you can't see because my stickers are in there and stuff, and then they put there's like a maze on the back like they used to do with comics and stuff like that. Yeah, The Master is really cool. It's like a 90s Avengers Justice League style indie book. And then some of the like DC stuff I got to Batman Fortress #4, Gary Whitta, Derek Robertson. I don't know if you've read that one, but
of course I read it. There's a squirrel Green Lantern in it.
Exactly. Yeah, so there's a new squirrel Green Lantern. Was super pumped to see that. That was kind of crazy. And then Detective Chimp has to help them find the fortress and he finds out it's at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, the Fortress of Solitude. That is not the Fortress of Comic News. So that was a really good issue. I thought it was one of my favorite issues out of that series so far.
Bringing back Detective Chimp. Always love a good Detective Chimp. I love where he ends up in this version of the DC world. Great issue, yeah.
DC Mech #2, Kenny Porter, Baltimore Rivas. I don't know if you talked about that one already, but that was another good issue. That's a fun series.
We didn't. I read it this week, and
okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, they basically realize they need to team up with Superman and find some nth metal to upgrade. It's a fun issue. Iron Fist #5, Alyssa Wong, Michael Yeage on the art. Iron Fist's brother, Gigi, tricks everyone into a battle so then he can just go through the portal to Kunlun because the final piece of this evil god he's resurrecting is there. And then Loki shows up to talk to him at the end, and Loki's like, "Oh, I like what you're doing." So some weird shit's going down. Batman White Knight Red Hood #2. I know you read this one. Sean Murphy, Clay McCormick on the art. Yeah, it's a good issue. It's basically gets him what ignites him to become the Red Hood again, and getting some help from others. So that's a nice origin.
Yeah, which sets up where he ends up in the last issue of Beyond the White Knight, where he shows up at the end. So if you remember that issue, I know it's been a little while, but he shows up in the last couple pages, and then that sets up this, and now the next issue is going to be Beyond the White Knight again. So I enjoyed the little 2-issue thing.
And then Superman Warworld Apocalypse, Philip Kennedy Johnson, lots of different artists on this book. I wasn't reading Action Comics before this, but they do kind of give you a nice catch up on like what's been going on. So that was good. I like the issue. I thought it was a cool ending, and it's going to be continued in Action Comics, I think.
And one of the best covers of the year.
The cover is amazing. Yeah. Just a couple of things. I haven't finished the new Swamp Thing yet. I'm waiting to sit down and take the time to read that. Justice Warriors, I'm caught up 1 through 3. It's getting a little crazy. There's a little heavy-handed political stuff, but this book is hilarious and pretty. It's gory at times when it's supposed to be funny, and there's a lot of satirical shit going on. So I think you'd like Justice Warriors. The art is amazing too. I was trying to grab the artist really quick so everybody could hear a shout out. This is the Ahoy Comics book by Matt Bors and Ben Clarkson on the art.
Mm.
And then I finished Batman the Night #8. I think you talked about this one already.
I didn't because I'm so far behind that series.
Okay, so basically he this is like the introduction to the someone visits him from the League of Shadows and like is way better at fighting than him, and he basically gets an invite saying like your Ra's al Ghul will like see you now. So he's gonna last couple issues I think are gonna take place there, which you can't do a Batman origin story without the League of Shadows, right? So
Correct.
and then the book that really surprised me. This is Ultraman: The Mystery of Ultra 7, #1. This is the Ultraman book published by Marvel. Kyle Higgins wrote it, and Matt Groom, and then Davide Tinto on the art. And then there's like some other mini like stories in the back about like how to like safety measures for avoiding kaiju, like when they're attacking a city. I don't know much about Ultraman. I just know he's a giant Power Ranger that fights kaijus. So that's all I really need to know. There's some other stuff going on, but you get a lot of the original Ultraman and some new guy that took up the mantle, and some story behind there, and some fighting of kaiju and things like that. Kyle Higgins killed it. I really like that. And obviously, he's got Radiant Black coming out. So maybe they saw Radiant Black and they're like, this dude should be writing Ultraman, because there's a lot of similarities between those characters, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I enjoyed it. So yeah, looking forward to that. And I had some books I still need to read, like Shang-Chi, Radiant Black, Shaolin Cowboy. Still haven't read those. Some other stuff I'm really behind on.
So I got a ton, so I'm going to try to like jump through a couple and then talk more deeply about the ones I really want to talk to. But Mech Strike, Monster Hunters #3, good issue. It's just a fun series. Thanos gets involved, so obviously I'm all about it. Justice League versus Legion of Superheroes #5. Once again, fun series. At the end, are you still reading this, or did you give up on it?
Which one?
Justice League versus Legion of Superheroes?
No, so yeah, I had that. I saw that came out, and the book's just too wordy for me. Sometimes
okay.
Yeah, I think I'm waiting for it to wrap up, because I think it's been delayed too. It hasn't been coming out every month, has it?
It got delayed for a little bit, and then it's back on. The past 2 months have been on schedule, so
okay,
we'll see.
I think that's what happened. Is that fell through?
Also, I didn't, because I had to go back and look. Issue 4, because I'm getting it digitally, didn't pop up properly when I was looking. And then issue 5 came in, and I was like, wait, when did issue 4 come out? And I went back, and that one was on schedule. So maybe it's just my brain, maybe Comixology fucked up, I don't know.
No, because I lost track of it too, somehow digitally. Just didn't make sense.
So I think it took a few months off, you're correct. But I still really enjoy this book, though. Art's really good. It's funny to me reading it sometimes, because it is very Bendis. And the end of this issue, we find out who's behind it all. It's still, the only disappointing part is like, this is supposed to be about the Gold Lantern, and there's not a whole lot to talk about the Gold Lanterns, and you have one more issue to fix that. So
that's kind of where I was. Like, I think that was it too. We weren't getting enough Gold Lantern talk.
Yeah, so we'll see what the last issue brings, but if you don't explain to me what the Gold Lantern is, I'm going to be like, this is a waste of my fucking time. Ant-Man #2 is actually about the irredeemable Ant-Man, which is the Robert Kirkman Ant-Man. So, like, my favorite Ant-Man.
Cool.
And it takes place during Secret Invasion. Really good, fun story. Ends similar to the first issue. Someone from the future, possibly an Ant-Man, is looking for other Ant-Men for this adventure, and he gets sucked into this thing. The All-Nighter #9. I love that series. It's been so great. But yeah, they save Dracula, and there's also stuff going on in the background.
Yeah, I dropped off on that one. I got to get back into it.
Yeah, I love that book so much. That's the most I look forward to any Comixology original book. Where like I would actually, if it was being printed, I would pay for it hands down. Wow. Breakout #3 was really good. It was all about their plan in the space jail and how they actually go through and do everything. Radiant Black #17. Radiant Black's great. Everybody should be reading Radiant Black.
Yeah, I still have to read that.
Let's see. Captain America: Symbol of Truth #4 was really good. It ends with Sam tries to infiltrate Wakanda because something's going on between Wakanda and what's his mission is, and it ends with Black Panther finding him and being like, "What the fuck you doing infiltrating Wakanda?" Forever Forward #1. We talked about this like a month ago because we had Zach on the book, but I read it again in print. Book's awesome. Everybody should go check it out. Scout Comics doing some cool stuff.
Hell yeah, there.
Avengers Forever #8, which is an issue you might like because they're going to different dimensions to create this like Avengers of the multiverse. And in this multiverse, that's Thor, but he's not worthy. And like Mjolnir just follows him around, like taunting him that he's not worthy. And the Masters of Evil, the multiverse Masters of Evil, destroyed his planet and everything in it.
Okay.
Including the Iron Fist place. Fuck. Where's the place he goes to fight the dragon?
Yeah, Kunlun.
So they destroy that too. And he ends up finding one of the gods from Kunlun who wants him to come and like train with him to become the next Iron Fist. And he trains with him. He becomes really great and like learns martial. So it's Thor who knows martial arts. And then he ends up finding out that the god like tricked him and was just like, no, I just wanted to make you more powerful so you could help these guys. But the Masters already killed the dragon, so you can't take the power of the Iron Fist.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So but it was a really great story. Amazing Fantasy 1000. Oh boy. A bunch of really great like short stories. My two favorites that I'll talk about real quick are the Hickman one, which made me want Hickman to write Spider-Man now. Because it's Spider-Man from our dimension going to basically the Council of Spider-Man like discussing the Parker Luck situation. And like the other Spider-Man just like fuck with him and they're all like, no, like we don't have that. Like you're something's wrong with you. And then in the end we're like, no, we're just kidding, man. And then the Neil Gaiman one was really sweet because it was him as a kid reading Spider-Man and then he meets Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
And has this whole thing. And then it's autobiographical in nature because this is like what actually happened to him other than the meeting Spider-Man part. And then when he gets older and he's working in comics, him and who drew the story with him? The guy who drew Preacher.
Oh.
Steve something. I'm bad with names today.
Yeah, I can't think of either. Steve
McNiven.
McNiven, yep.
So McNiven draws it as well. And the end of the story is him getting to meet Ditko with McNiven.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's a really great story. But good anthology for a fake 1000 book.
Yeah. For real. Fake.
And then Knights of the Fifth Dimension #3 was really great. I love this book. It's just all about like Jack Kirby and the fact that this comic world is another dimension. And the guy who they go to like try to help them figure out what's going on is basically like the super fan. Like his basement is filled with every thing that's Knights of the Fifth Dimension. And it's all like based on awesome. Justice League. So like they don't even like pull punches. They literally have the Super Knights lunchbox. They have the Knights cosmic crucifix. Like all this weird stuff in here. Amazing. And that's when like the monsters from the other dimension come and attack them. Really do recommend this book for a lot of people. I think it's really well done. And then the ones I'll get a little bit further into. So another Comixology original, New America #1. Kind of alert on this one. This was a very, very political book.
Okay.
It starts off with Jan 6. And like it literally shows Trump rallies and stuff in it, but then it quickly gets away from that because that's the starting point to say like that's what fractured America, and now there's this new version of America that like seceded.
Okay.
And the story is based in that world, and something's going on in that world where the guy who's running it, his brother is kind of like an ex-soldier, but a little bit of a scumbag. He did something, but we don't quite know what. And we get to see like kind of what's happening in this new America. And then the way the issue ends is the little brother of the president ends up meeting with an FBI agent from old America.
Oh.
And there's something there. So the first 4 pages are very, very like in your face today politics. So the warning on that. But once you get past that, I really enjoy the setting of the book. And the ending intrigued me enough where I want to keep going with it, even if I did think it was a little in your face.
Yeah.
Minor Threats #1. I don't know if you just didn't get to it, but if you...
I have it. I just haven't read it. Yeah, I bought the physical copy.
Yep. Okay, because you need to read it. It's literally, to put it in DC terms, it's somebody killed Robin. Okay. And Batman went insane and is going to kill every villain until he finds who did it.
That's awesome.
And now these villains, like these shitty villains in a bar, have to team up to save themselves because they can't even leave the bar without being attacked by this Batman.
That's amazing.
It's really well done. The humor's great. A lot of comic booky stuff. Awesome book. 2 more, I promise. Damage Control.
First published book too.
First independent, like
first independent,
because he's done other stuff for other things.
It's his own title though.
But yeah, I highly recommend that book, especially if you're into the same kind of stuff that we are with shitty villains and all that stuff. Damage Control #1. I always liked the idea of Damage Control, and this is very much in line with all that. It's about a guy who goes to work for Damage Control, and he ends up working in the mail room, and he has to go to the I think it's the 13th floor to deliver mail, and the 13th floor is a pocket dimension.
Of course.
And he has to deliver an Obnoxio the Clown cake to a guy who's his birthday, but because the dimension's so big, he delivers it melting, and then the only way he can finish his day is if Nightcrawler helps him. Damage Control is a really goofy concept. I really enjoy it. It's a fun spin on the Marvel Universe. If you don't know, it's just these guys who clean up after the superheroes.
It's awesome.
When they destroy everything. And then my last book is Public Domain #3. This book, or this issue, settles around like the actual court case between the guy who created Public Domain and the company that now owns it. And the short version of it is the guy who created it, the artist, basically strikes a deal. He takes a little bit of a pay to help his kids, but he also gets the rights to publish comics while the company can create movies. So it's a cool kind of twist on that. And the fact that he's just so happy, he's like, I just wanted to create more of these comics. I didn't really care about all the other stuff. So
yeah,
I like the way that story went.
Awesome.
So Mike, that is everything I read this week. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker at Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter, and you can find the show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter, as well as FortressComicNews.com. I want to remind everybody to give us the reviews on whatever podcast you use, like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version, and if you want to go to Extra Mile, patreon.com/FortressComics. Thank you all so much for listening this week, and we will see you all here next week.